Hi, folks. Today we're going to take a look at Delete Laws, where he makes some very inflammatory comments about Charlie Kirk's widow. Now, I don't care about politics. I'm not talking politics. I'm addressing what Chille's words were addressed to the widow of Charlie Kirk. But before we get started, a big thank you to all of my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going, so I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. And a quick word for today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Dubby. Now, we all get ran down from time to time and always need that boost of energy. We usually get it from a cup of coffee, a can of pop, or an energy drink. But a problem with a lot of those things is they have a lot of sugars, a lot of things that slow us down or cause us to have a crash. This is where Dubby comes in to save the day. Dubby is an all-natural energy blend that you can mix with your water and just have a great refreshing taste and get that energy you need. Dubby is a powdered energy drink that has tons of caffeine, zero artificial flavors, zero artificial dyes. It's loaded down with vitamin B3, B6, B12, vitamin C, and it gives you a caffeine boost that you would actually enjoy. Not to mention, it comes in awesome flavors like fruit punch with lemon and lime, dragon fruit with strawberry lemonade, Japanese soda, and one I've personally tried and enjoy, the passion fruit juice. Use my promo code NCRNews at checkout and you can get 10% off your order. So go to www.dubby.gg and start your journey with Dubby. Not only is it one of the best powdered energy drinks out there, but you won't regret it, and use my promo code NCRNews at checkout and get 10% off. Thank you again to Dubby for sponsoring today's video, and don't forget to go to www.dubby.gg and get 10% off at checkout when you use my promo code NCRNews. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
We are live. What's going on out there in the land of the unfree America? How is everybody today? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me all right. Let me know if you can hear me a-okay. I'm just checking in. How are you guys? What is going on? Double tap that screen, hit the like button. Maybe you guys recognize this woman. This is Charlie Kirk's widow. And as you know, I have made several statements about Charlie Kirk. I believe that Charlie Kirk's murder was insane, completely wrong. Now, in the same breath, I can tell you that I do not agree with 99% of what Charlie Kirk did or stood for, but I did believe that he should not be killed.
You know, it's funny that Chille said that about Charlie Kirk, because when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he made a comment and said that he had met him one time and that he was a fine, upstanding man. Now that he's probably losing subscribers because some people do not have the most kind views when it comes to Mr. Kirk's life and what he thought, he's trying to backtrack. But yes, we can all agree that nobody needs to lose their life over expressing themselves with the First Amendment. However, this isn't about, political views. This isn't about the First Amendment. This is just Chille trying to backtrack to try to regain some subscribers. But let's continue.
And I did believe, as he did, for free speech, and I do believe that the moment we go to war and we stop talking, then we go to violence. And I'm against going to violence. So
you're lying.
What's going on out there in the land of the unfree America? How are you guys? Happy Saturday. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Duncan, Oklahoma is still very, very prevalent. A lot of tips are still coming in about Duncan, Oklahoma. It's crazy. I ran into this guy in the grocery store here in Duncan, Oklahoma, and the guy wanted to walk up to me and he wanted to tell me off. He was going to come in and he was going to tell me off.
Dramatization may not have happened.
And as soon as I started to talk to him, he realized standing in front of him was a genuine human being who's dedicated his life to civil rights and to fighting against this police state, prison state, death state. And the guy just couldn't tell me off. He kept trying to find a way to tell me off inside a Walmart.
Shenanigans.
No.
Shenanigans.
No.
And we're calling shenanigans, folks, because I highly doubt that actually happened. But something else Chille just said is that the guy saw him as a genuine, decent human being. Well, Chille, what decent human being wishes bone cancer on children? Yes, you did say that. You said that you wished bone cancer on the children of the people who disagree with you and who are your enemies. And let's not forget that you have made several comments in the past where you've actually said when a cop is unalived or attacked that they deserved it. They provoked it. That's why they were attacked or unalived. Don't forget, you made it perfectly clear in open court that you hate the police. You have a great disdain for them, and it's public. You're not that well known of a figure outside of the anti-auditing community, so that guy, if he even existed, probably doesn't know who you are. Your plans for digital detainment and Velcro cuffs will never work. Remember that plan of the 6 cameras mounted on somebody? And it was going to run 24/7 to a 24-hour sitting judge. That plan would bankrupt most small towns when you think about all the infrastructure that would need to maintain it.
And I was like, dude, what are you trying to tell off here? What are you trying to tell off? I wanted to find, I think it was Brian's video on High Impact Flicks. I think Brian posted a video that showed exactly what happened with that, with the killing of Charlie Kirk. But before I go too far off into the weeds, let me just shout out some names. And now we're not going to watch this whole thing or even remotely close to all of it. We're just going to watch part of it, just the very beginning of this, because I want you guys to see something here that is so ridiculously, abundantly stupid. You couldn't even imagine how bad this actually is.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And I'm going to point out the obvious things here. Let me just see what you guys can see here. So we got Charlie Kirk's widow up there. You know, God rest Charlie's soul. He blazed his own trail, and a lot of people hate Charlie Kirk because he came off racist and came off like he was transphobe and homophobe, and you know, he had some problems, you know, and he died for his speech. He died for free speech. So I'm not for killing people because of what they say.
Yeah, Chille, you're the same guy who wished bone cancer on those who disagreed with you and your enemies. So you're not really the right person to say anything about not being violent or wishing violence on people. Yes, Charlie Kirk was a divisive person. Some people liked him, some people hated him. Some people agreed with what his message was, some didn't. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of what he believed in, but something important that he believed in that we could all agree on is once we stop having civilized discussions with each other to try to find common ground, we're prone to end up in violence. That was his most important message. Not what his faith was or what he thought. It was the fact that we can come together and have a dialogue with each other to find some common ground to make the world a better place. Nobody deserves to have their life taken for that simple view. But again, I'm not going to get into his politics or his beliefs, but that message that he made of let's just have a simple dialogue to find the common ground.
I totally disagree with it. But I have real issues with what this woman said. And I want you guys to listen to this, and I'm going to kind of interrupt it here and there because it deserves being interrupted. But let's just listen here.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband.
Was.
Would you shut the fuck up?
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin.
Well, wait a minute. You first want to thank the local, state, and federal agencies that worked tirelessly to catch your husband's assassin, but didn't they fail you miserably? Didn't the guy Tyler, didn't he traverse across multiple rooftops? Didn't he get within perfect striking distance to off Charlie Kirk? So why are you thanking the cops? Because, you know,
Well, she's thanking them because they did actually capture the individual who was the man who pulled the trigger. Now, Chille's trying to say that they failed. Well, yeah, maybe security did lack, but we don't know all the answers. We weren't there. We don't know what intel they had until it's released. And there may be investigations on that to see if, there was a lack in security. However, what Chille is forgetting to bring up is the fact that there were multiple people at that rally that Charlie Kirk was at where he was assassinated who made claims of being the individual who pulled the trigger. One gentleman, who was an elderly man, said that he was the one who did it to the cops multiple times. When they think they already have the suspect in custody, they're not going to be looking for that other actual person. Chille is forgetting that. That was a chaotic moment. They were trying to deal with trying to save Charlie Kirk's life and dealing with people who were panicking and running while trying to find a suspect. And they have one person telling them that they did it, not to mention the horrendous people who were stealing stuff from the booth that he was sitting in when he was shot.
I have had some fallouts in my life with different family and some friends over my position that cops don't keep us safe. And the last fallout I had with somebody, they said, Chille, why are you so hateful? The police keep us safe. No, they don't. And this cop sucking by this woman doesn't make anything better.
I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice.
What is justice in this case? You guys know, I'm not sure if you know this, I'm strongly anti-death penalty unless we catch you on camera doing the SA act on a child. I think you should be offed. And I think you should be offed if we catch you on camera in cold-blooded, pewing another person, or however you're going to off that person. If we catch you on a video and you are offing another person, I'm pro-death penalty in that particular scenario. And I'm not pro-death penalty.
Now, I don't want to start a debate over is the death penalty a effective means of punishment, but let's break down what Chille said. He said, unless there is video of a person essaying somebody or a child or actually committing an unaliving, that shouldn't be on the table. But what if we have tangible proof beyond a reasonable doubt? Like, we have DNA, we have fingerprints, we have surveillance footage, we have sworn testimony from eyewitnesses that can be verified through video evidence of them fleeing the scene that links them to the scene. Should it still not be on the table? Chille, you have no understanding of how crime and punishment should work. Then again, you are the same man who said that cops shouldn't be able to arrest somebody even if they go to someone's house and can see them committing crimes, that the person should be able just to shut the door and the cops can't do anything.
I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically.
You want us to thank the first responders who didn't save Charlie?
You need to shut the fuck up.
To save Charles's life.
It was impossible to save him.
And the police?
It was a perfect shot right in the artery. I guess it hit the vest and bounced up. He was wearing body armor. It hit the body armor and bounced up. That's why the shirt went up. And I don't endorse violence against any person who speaks.
Who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon.
No, there was only Charlie. The killer was going after Charlie.
Chille, you're clearly not paying attention. You're just getting ready to spew your narrative, but she is trying to say that she's trying to thank the EMTs and other first responders there who tried to save his life. They tried. Yes, they couldn't do it, but they did everything they could in their powers to do so. Also, she's trying to thank the cops to make sure nobody else got hurt, because they could have. That's the problem that you're not understanding. Yes, the assassin was going after Charlie Kirk. However, what you're failing to understand is that could have been a worse situation. There could have been multiple victims. Let's say he didn't get the shot right and Charlie moved and then the bullet hit somebody else. Let's say if that bullet didn't hit Charlie and it started a mass panic, how's that going to stop him from trying to get a better shot and just aim randomly and maybe hit other people? That's what you're failing to understand. She is thanking the police, the first responders, for trying everything in their power to save her late husband and to make sure no one else got hurt. How can you be so thick-headed and hateful towards that message?
I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family.
What are you talking about? She just keeps on cop sucking. She's been thanking the cops her entire intro of her speech.
Come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
Thanks the cops, thanks the first responders. Didn't they fail miserably, though? I'm just saying, didn't they fail? If the job is to keep a man alive, didn't they fail in doing that? Didn't that 22-year-old kid traverse across multiple rooftops, jumping around? Isn't there a video of the guy up on the rooftop? So why are you thanking the cops? I'm just so confused here. I'm sorry for your loss. I made 2 different posts about it, saying it's completely wrong to murder Charlie, even though we didn't agree. It's fine. You could disagree. People hate Charlie. Put a 1 in the chat if you hate Charlie. Put a 2 in the chat if you like Charlie. Put a 1 in the chat if you hate him. Put a 2 in the chat if you like him. I just want to see how many people here like Charlie Kirk.
Why are you trying to capitalize on the unaliving of Charlie Kirk? Why would you ask your chat to put a 1 in the chat or put a 2 in the chat if they liked him or if they disliked him? You know, this is not going to help anything. This is just going to help you. It's going to help you gain more engagement, get you pushed more in the algorithm. Now, I might catch some flack here because people might say, well, aren't you doing the same thing, NCR? No. I'm exposing Chille for what he's saying. I'm exposing him for his horrific statements he's making about Erica Kirk and how she's this and that. I don't care if people like Charlie or they disliked him. All I care about is exposing people like Chille, people who want to milk tragedies for every cent he can get his grimy little hands on. You ask a lot of the auditing community who's actually met Chille, they'll say the same thing. He's an opportunist. They do not like him because of how he acts.
These past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio,
the whole part about this that I wanted to point out about her is how we just and just so you know, it's been indoctrinated into your brain that you're supposed to thank the cops, that the cops are the good guys, and they're not. They're just not. You cops watching, if you watch another cop be the bad cop and you don't put him on his face and arrest him, then you're a bad cop too.
With all due respect, what the fuck are you talking about?
So I just want to be clear. If you're a cop and you see a bad cop and he does something bad and he's the bad cop and you don't arrest that cop or even turn him in, then you're a bad cop too. Just want to be clear about that so the cops understand that. It's just the way it is. But now let's count how many seconds, how many minutes that she sits there and cop sucks.
We're going to end it here, folks, because the remainder of this is just him insulting her even more and more for thanking the law enforcement, thanking the first responders, the EMTs, everyone who tried to save her husband, he calls that cop sucking. He thinks that she's brainwashed and that we're all Pavlovianly trained to thank the police. Your opinions are your opinions, Chille. You're allowed to have them. And my opinions are mine. I'm allowed to have those. But my opinion is you're just trying to grift and milk the situation for the most you can. So if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my podcast, the second channel, and don't forget to go to www.wgg and use my promo code NCR News for 10% off your order when you check out. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time. And a special thank you to all members of the news team. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys mean the world to me, and I can never thank you enough.